everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you another English chit chat video and we're talking about Canada. Because the other day I walked past a Canadian coffee shop in Taipei and I just felt a sense of home because Canada is kind of like my home away from home. So I just walked in and worked there for the whole afternoon and they were playing French radio actually. And it made me feel really nostalgic. Also got me thinking, well, why didn't I stay in Canada? I've got asked this question many times and every time I would just say, well, the pandemic happened. Well, that's true, but I haven't really given thought to it as to why I didn't decide to stay there. I kind of know in the back of my head, but I've never really talked about it in depth. And I thought it would make a really good video topic. Why I didn't stay in Canada? The truth. You know that's what all YouTubers do. You gotta do a really clickbaity title. Anyways, these are the points I'll cover today. Number 1, reasons why I went to Canada. Number 2, what I wanted to do in Canada at first. Number 3, why I decided not to stay there. And number 4, was it the right decision? I know many people watch my English videos to improve their English listening skills, but if you're looking for a more systematic method to improve your English listening, my new online course, 英文听力术, is out right now, finally, after a year. It was a long time. 我的新听力课程终于上线啦！11月呢有早鸟5折的限时优惠哦，而且现在加入课程就可以马上开始上课，它不是预购的啊。Anyways, listening.cool 上面呢有示范影片，也有详细的课程介绍哦，我会把链接放在下面的资讯栏。Alright, after my plug, let's dive into today's topic. Number 1, reasons why I went to Canada in the first place. So I went to Canada for the first time in 2016 as an exchange student. It was an eye-opening experience because I was able to escape from a lot of pressure that I was under in Taiwan. And it was just like a second chance at life because I grew up in a highly competitive environment and I was constantly trying to prove myself and I felt really insecure. And being in Canada was like finally being able to breathe in fresh air after being suffocated for the longest time and not knowing that I was suffocated. So then, what I wanted to do in Canada at first. I did my master's degree at McGill. McGill is in Montreal. It's a French-speaking province. It's a very different experience than Vancouver. At first, I went to Vancouver for my exchange year. So in Canada, if you do 2 years of studies, you're eligible to apply for a post-grad work permit. So my plan was to graduate and find a job in Canada, work for a couple of years, and if I still don't hate it, maybe I'll apply for PR, permanent residence, and maybe somewhere down the road, eventually citizenship. It sounds like a good plan. I mean, step by step, you just follow through, right? Turned out, I just didn't have the greatest time in Montreal. It was a really tough time, honestly. It's a French-Canadian city. It was really hard to blend in and I had a lot of trouble, a lot of pressure from school, from work. It's really different from my exchange year. And I also looked into job opportunities and I would just say that the outlook wasn't great. Well, maybe I'll get paid better, but the living cost is also higher and the winters are brutal. I don't have my friends here. My family is back in Taiwan. I think it just comes down to what I really want in life and it's just like, oh, it's an existential crisis, yeah. I was looking into jobs in Canada, maybe in different cities. I was looking into different opportunities, but at the same time, I realized that I actually like doing research, which was really surprising for me at the time. When I was in college, I was completely against the idea of going to grad school. I thought it was just stupid. I thought, like me in my head, like, oh, education is a commodity right now. Why would you spend $1 million on a degree and get in debt after you graduate? I honestly kind of despised grad school at some point in my life. And I thought it was just like a scam. Yeah, it was a scam. But turns out I actually like it. Yeah, it was so fascinating. I like studying, I like reading, I like doing research. It's like a brand new world for me to explore. At first, I chose grad school more for the work permit than studying. Turns out, I like the studying part more than the work permit. So I started to look into academia. Would it be possible for me to have an academic career? Well, entering academia seems like a very, very steady path. You get paid to study, so money check. Fun for me, check. Doing good things to the world, check. It's a perfect remedy for a lost, cold, and lonely international student. Next chapter, why I decided not to stay there. I finished my studies half a year earlier than expected, and I came back to Taiwan in February 2019. I thought that, okay, I'll just get a PhD and see where it takes me from there on. I wasn't 100% sure. I felt like my grad school experience was just the tip of the iceberg, and I wanted to see the bigger picture. So I went to Greece. It was a conference that I was really interested in. I went there by myself. So in Greece, I talked to many PhD students, many postdoc students. I listened to presentations and I did my own. I talked to many professors about their career. And I could say that it was the best trip I've ever had in my entire life. And the verdict was that maybe this is not the life I want. At least for the time being, because two reasons. So first, a linear career path might not be what I'm excited about. I think I like to be surprised and see where my passion leads me. And being in academia, it just takes lifelong dedication. And I would say it's a very, very noble thing to do. I look up to all the doctors, all the professors I've had in my entire life. But for me, there are just other things that I'm curious about in the world, and I'm just not ready to dedicate my whole life to a subject at the cost of exploring other new things in my 20s. And the second reason is job security might not be that crucial. Well, growing up, I was told about the importance of having job security. Government jobs are very popular in Taiwan because you get a tenured position and you get a pension, right? Very steady. It's called 铁饭碗. No one can take that away from you. Once you land that job in your 20s, you're set for life. Even though I've never been keen on getting a government job, the mindset of having job security, I think it's ingrained in my head. And the job security of an academic career more or less attracted me, I think, especially when I was still a bit lost after grad school, when I was really in debt. But honestly, as I grow older, as I try less to prove myself, as I feel more secure about myself, I think job security just isn't that big of a deal in my life anymore. I think it took me the longest time to realize, but security really comes from within. I don't think a job title could ever give me the sense of security that I'm actually looking for. I think both financial and emotional security comes from within. I need to believe in my own abilities in creating value or making money or just do anything. If I feel like an imposter, I would still feel insecure even if I have a tenured position. All right, last but not least, was it the right decision? I would say, for now, absolutely yes, 100% yes. I know I could have learned so much more about the field of applied linguistics if I had done a PhD, but in the past 2 years, I started my own business. I learned about online marketing, which is something that I never thought I would dabble in. Also, I created 2 online courses and so much free content online. It's just things that I created online and people could look at and learn things and connect with me. It's an amazing job. I think there's a part of me that would still like being in a very nerdy environment, but also it would be fun to connect with a lot of people, creating a lot of free, good content out there. Well, maybe in the future, I'll go back to school, we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you guys posted. We'll see what the future holds, but you know what's important right now? It's my new online course. 英文听力数11月呢有5折的优惠哦，以后不会再有更低价了。这真的是我过去1整年的心血，我看了很多书，然后整理了 很多不一样的资料，想要用一个很系统化的方式来学习英文听力。大家可以到课程页面看看我制作课程的理念啊，里面也有一些示范的影片哦。I'm sure you'll like the course. Alright, I think that's about it for today's video, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye!